Ken Ham, a young Earth creationist who also operates the Creationist Museum, recently wrote a Facebook post calling out Richard Dawkins. Now, in his post, he says that Richard Dawkins can't prove his atheism. Now, he went on to say, "So Richard Dawkins, a man who is certain there is no God, is not totally certain about what's going to happen to him when he dies. And yet he speaks with certainty as he tries to indoctrinate people to believe in his religion of atheism." He adds, "The Bible clearly teaches that there are no atheists. God's word clearly states that he has put the knowledge of God within each of us. We all know there is a God. There are no atheists." Okay, so let's break down what he's saying. So, first and foremost, atheism is not a religion. If you actually look up the definition of religion, it says this: religion is the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Atheism is quite contrarily the opposite of that. It's the belief that there is no superhuman controlling the universe. So to quote Pendulet, he says, "Atheism is a religion like not collecting stamps is a hobby." Couldn't have said it better myself. It doesn't make sense to say that atheism is a religion, and this is something that Christians and other fundamentalist religious individuals try to purport all the time, but it's just nonsense. And second of all, there is actually evidence that atheists exist. I am evidence that atheists exist because I identify as an atheist. I'm an individual who believes that there is not enough evidence to verify the existence of a supernatural being who's controlling the universe. It's not that I'm mad at God. It's not that I'm ignorant. It's not that I'm trying to reject God. I was indoctrinated with Christianity, and I chose to become an atheist based on the facts, based on the empirical evidence. So I've been on both sides. You were indoctrinated into your religion, and you just stayed with it. So how can you say that atheism is a religion or that atheists don't exist if you've never even seen the other side? You don't know if the grass is greener on the other side. So that's a really ignorant point to make. Now, the third point that's really going to cause Ken Ham to have cognitive dissonance is the fact that he's more of an atheist than he thinks. So it's estimated that about 4,200 religions exist worldwide. You see, Ken Ham is already an atheist to about 4,199 religions. Really, the only difference between myself and Ken Ham is that I took it a step further. I decided to believe in one less God than he does. Because look, I don't think there's really much people, if any at all, who believes in more than one religion, who believes in more than two religions. You're usually a subscriber to one religion and that's it. So how can he say that atheists don't exist if he's disregarding all the other religions in the world that exist? So if you're a Christian, you're inherently an atheist to the Muslim religion. If you are a Buddhist, then you're inherently rejecting Christianity. So now look, another argument that I've heard that people have tried to use against me is they say, "Look, Mike, here's the deal. I get that you're an atheist and I respect that, but what if you're wrong? You see, there's no consequences if you're a Christian. But if you're an atheist, well, the consequences, you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in God. So why not just believe just as a matter of security, just as an insurance policy?" Well, okay, that may resonate with a lot of people, but the problem is that you're rejecting the other 4,199 religions that already exist. So if you really want to double down and make sure that you're ensured that whatever religion throughout the world is correct, you want to go to heaven in that particular religion, well, you're going to have to subscribe to all of these religions. And guess what? There's a lot of them. Some of them which would really be difficult to ascertain any type of information about because they're in more remote locations in the world. So atheism is not a religion. Ken Ham is wrong, and atheists do exist. He is partially proof of that because Ken Ham, you are an atheist to 4,199 religions in the world. So you're going to have to wake up. Now here's the main thing that I think is problematic. Ken Ham has a lot of people following him. All of these individuals are taking in his message, and I think that that's really scary because what he's pushing is misinformation. He's not a reasonable person. You can't present facts, you can't present empirical evidence and change his mind. This is evidence in the fact that when Bill Nye debated him, he provided a whole plethora of information, and all Ken Ham really had to say was, "Oh, well, there is evidence that says this. It's in the Bible." Well, guess what, Ken Ham? That's fine that if you want to be a Christian, but one, I think that your misinformed belief shouldn't influence other people. And two, the Bible is not evidence. It was written 100 years after Jesus had already supposedly died. It's not evidence. Just because there's an assumption or an assertion made in the Bible doesn't make that verifiably true. What is true is what we know from scientific research, from empirical studies. Ken Ham doesn't get that, and I think that he really is a foolish human for believing this type of nonsense, specifically that atheists don't exist.